up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty, and I'm back with another Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 3 theory and prediction video. And today, I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Unique is definitely Breeze and Ghost stole his move. And this move being faking your death and reinventing yourself. But it was Ghost who used this move as a last resort, as it was his only option to finally leave the game behind. Meaning that he used Unique, aka Breeze's technique, in the opposite way that Unique used it, being that Unique used it to re-enter the game. This also will prove that Kanan became slim, and Tommy will eventually change his own look for the same reasons. Now this video is going to be yet another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so y'all can get this fire every day. And since you know you love this content, you can support this channel by sending a donation to the Cash App JPeterson91 or blessing your brother with a super thanks right above the comment section in your phone. Thanks in advance. Now without further ado, let's get to it. All right now people, let's break it down like this. The end of Raising Kanan Season 3, Episode 10, left us with one of the biggest cliffhangers in Power Universe history, in which we seen both Ronnie and Detective Malcolm Howard be killed by both Kanan and Rock respectively, and ending it all with the reveal that Unique, although showing obvious scars and a crazy stupid lazy eye from his fight with Ronnie, is still alive and kicking. And even after seeing this, there are still people who deny that Unique has begun a new character arc that will show us the slow burn of a process that will result in him being the Breeze that we all have been waiting for. The clues are all around. Joey Badass did not lie when he said Unique was really gone. The man said to have been a big brother to Ghost and Tommy and helped steer them and Kanan into prominence as young drug dealers. That man is already here. Besides the actual reveal that Unique never died, the Run DMC song playing during this reveal mentions something along the lines of a breeze. And in the Nas song Made You Look, Nas has a lyric that goes, "Let the top down so she can feel the nice breeze." These are not coincidences. They told us Breeze would be revealed in Season 3. That's why everybody thought it was Ronnie in the first place. Symbolically, okay? Unique is indeed gone. And now it's obvious that Ghost, Kanan, and Tommy learned how to fake their deaths and reinvent themselves from taking from the book that Unique, aka Breeze, had written. In a way, this makes Unique the single most important character in Power Universe history. This has to mean that Ghost is still alive in the current Power timeline. Unique's very existence in the end of episode 10 is all the proof we need already, okay? And as far as Unique not being Breeze, as that being an argument to people saying, Unique was 5 years older than Kanan, I want y'all to say in the comment section, where, what proof is it that he was exactly 5 years older? All we know is that he was old enough to play the big brother role to all of them. And Unique is that age, okay? Ghost already told Tariq, don't ever make the mistake of thinking you're smarter than me ever again also. Ghost purposely baited Councilman Tate, Tasha, Cooper Sachs, and especially his own Tariq. He knew what he was doing. Ghost was planning his own death back when he told Tariq that he would not take that charge for him, okay? That was the only reason why he changed his mind. Ghost told Angela way back in 96 during the high school scene how he always thought about leaving the streets to do something more fulfilling. And after Angela died, He knew he only had one option left. Fake his death and just start this shit over. But he knew it had to look like it wasn't his plan. He manipulated all of his ops to do exactly what he wanted them to do, making him the biggest mastermind in Power Universe history. Ghost wanted out of the game since 1996 and relied on his mentor, Unique, aka Breeze, for his assistance and inspiration. Him, Kanan, and Tommy all seen how effective the fake your death and reinvent yourself tactic is. When you see Kanan become slim in order to win Tariq over, when you see Ghost gain power in the government and then mysteriously die without us seeing his body, okay? It shows you that Ghost never even wanted that. He used it as an avenue just as a means to get out of the game. And when we see Tommy grow a goatee or a beard next season to Force, all of this is because of Unique, aka Breeze. The same outfit Unique had on in the finale is the same kind of outfit Tommy and Ghost did hits in. They all utilized what Unique originated. And even though Ghost initially didn't want to do it, he knew for years what his last resort would be if he had no other way out. And he chose to act on it. Unique is Breeze, and Ghost used his tactic to escape the game. And today, I cracked the Da Vinci Code yet again. My theory today will explain exactly how Unique developed his routine of watching Jeopardy every night at 7 p.m. And this theory explains why Stephano was the major influence in that. These guys are best friends and treacherous twins. I will also give examples from earlier episodes of Raising Kanan and reveal how Stephano and Unique, aka Breeze, both already expressed an interest in letters and words, thus leading them to bond as brothers over their favorite TV show. This video is going to be yet another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so y'all can get this fire every day. And since you know you love this content, you can support this channel by sending a donation to the Cash App JPeterson91 or blessing your brother with a super thanks right above the comment section in your phone. Thanks in advance. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. All right now, people, so let's break it down like this. With the shocking and obvious revelation for some that Unique, aka Breeze, is still alive. It seems like he already has a well thought out plan underway. And it also seems like Kanan, Rock, and the rest of the Thomas family may be mere pawns in this game at his disposal. This is even more certain if the truth is revealed that it was in fact Unique himself who instructed Kanan on how to dispose of his brother Ronnie. And it's very likely the man at the center of this, who would have the most to gain other than Unique, will be Stephano himself. If Stephano is capable of having a made man like Sal Buscemi killed, you can bet we're going to see a lot more of the ruthlessness that this man is capable of. And when you put him with Unique, who assumingly will definitely be on demon time, the likes we have never seen of him, this friendship and unholy matrimony will cause problems for anyone who refuses to submit. These are the treacherous twins. So what I want to talk about is how Unique began developing his routine of watching Jeopardy and how Stephano had a role in it. First, we have to take it back to the moment Unique was presumed dead. I'm very sure at this point that Unique spent the following 2 to 3 months since Ronnie's attack under the care of Stephano. How he got there specifically is probably going to be predictable within a flashback in episode 1 or 2 of season 4. But the way Stephano told Rock how he found out Unique died, and then the conversation they had over Kanan and Stephano's house, it's clear that man has secrets and keeps his cards close to his hand. It's highly likely in season 4, we see a flashback of the same scene with Stephano and Rock. But after Rock leaves, y'all, Stephano goes upstairs to deliver the information to a Unique who would have been trying to keep tabs on both Ronnie and Rock during his recovery. And Stephano would step in the room and find Unique sitting right in his room watching none other than the show Jeopardy. I believe during Unique's recovery, him and Stephano continued to develop their friendship while Unique remained hidden. And they likely built their bond and discussed future plans together while sitting together watching the show. The fact that Stephano showed a seemingly genuine fondness for Unique is already undeniable. But another thing that should definitely be noted is this. Both Unique and Stephano showed a subtle interest in letters and words over the course of the series, and that could easily go over a lot of people's heads. First, Unique was seen with a crossword puzzle, I believe in his tailor shop in season 1. And Stephano expressed his fascination with the black dialect and how blacks creatively hand out nicknames. So it's not a reach to assume at some point they sat down together and shared their fondness of letters, words, and the English language, all while planning the domination of New York City. Unique is a valuable asset to Stephano because he serves as someone he can trust and has access to spaces he can't go because he isn't the right complexion. Another thing I want to add to this. At some point, Stephano will certainly die. Could Stephano's future death be another reason why Unique, aka Breeze, continued his tradition of watching Jeopardy every night at 7 p.m. to honor his best friend Stephano, who took him in when he was on the verge of death and helped him gain back everything he lost? Okay? When people say that Breeze, aka Unique, was strong but not smart, you gotta understand, he didn't say Breeze was stupid. He said that he wasn't smart. Now, you could be smart, you could be calculating in the streets, you could be tough in the streets. But for something as simple as keeping the same routine, yes, you're not smart. If people who know your routine are the same people who want to kill you. And that's why it was so easy for him to be killed. But it doesn't mean that he was a dummy, a dumbass, stupid. You hear the different weight that those words hold? There's not smart, there's foolish, and then there's stupid, dumb, an idiot. Nobody ever referred to Breeze as these words. This is my point. I don't think he's as stupid and as silly as people think. I think one of the only reasons why he was considered not to be smart was because he had the same routine and it was so easy to kill him. But because he trusted Kanan and Tommy and Ghost so much, he allowed himself to be vulnerable. Look, I have undeniable proof that Joey Badass was chosen to be Breeze from the very inception of Raising Kanan. And the writers were giving us clues to who Unique would eventually become through his own dialogue and experiences since episode 1 of season 1. You will want to watch this video until the very end because I'm going to reveal things you've never seen on anyone else's channel in regards to this subject because I just rewatched the entire season 1 over, including my biggest clue that proves without a doubt that Unique as Breeze was the person to inspire Ghost and Tommy in 2 specific scenes from OG Power. This video is going to be yet another banger, so go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so y'all get this fire every day. And since you know you love this content, you can support the channel by sending a donation to the Cash App JPeterson91 or blessing your brother with a super thanks right above the comment section in your phones. Thanks in advance. Now without further ado, let's get to it. All right now people, let's break it down like this. Unique is Breeze. and Joey Badass was selected to be both Unique and Breeze from as early as the audition process at Raising Kanan's inception. We were already given the hint that Breeze would be introduced in season 3 through the Breeze logo on the airplane photo that Sasha Penn posted right before season 3 began. Let's all understand that the way every main character is written on this show, they always show us slowly over time how each character becomes who they are. Every main character in this show is drastically different from who they were at the beginning of this series, and nothing in this show is a coincidence. And this also, without a doubt, applies to Unique as well. We will not see Unique start off season 4 or maybe even season 5 as well under the name Breeze. So please be aware that it will likely be a season or 2 before the name Breeze is even said by anyone. They have to show us how he earned that name. This will be a slow reveal. And after watching season 1 over again, I will now, without a doubt, prove the writers have been hinting at Unique becoming Breeze through his dialogue and actions since episode 1 of Raising Kanan season 1. This is undeniable proof, y'all. Proof that in order to be who he wanted to be, he had to become the coldest, most selfish nigga on the South Side. The lessons he learned along the way are what led him to completely change the way he dresses and moved in the streets. And the only reason why Kanan claimed he wasn't smart was because of one of his only weaknesses, letting himself stick to the same routine and getting caught slipping, and by people who he trusted, by the way, right? Let's keep in mind that Kanan saying Breeze wasn't smart could easily be an exaggeration at best. This is the same man who trained Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy, and by that I mean Breeze, aka Unique. So how dumb could he really have been? If anything, he was a certain level of smart, and over time Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy just became smarter than him. And now let's start at the beginning with episode 1 of season 1 of Raising Kanan, all right? Unique tells Rock in episode 1 while having a discussion over territory. Unique says, "You can't give a fuck about nobody or nothing more than your business. Distractions make you weak. They make you blink." He says all this after telling Rock how he already knows Kanan is her biggest weakness in the streets, okay? Rock then says in return, "You don't care about your son any less than I care about mine." Unique then responds by saying, "Yeah, Jerome is my heart, but he ain't live inside of me. He didn't come out of me, you see. You and Kanan are connected in a way me and Jerome just never will be, Rock." Right? Proving Unique loves Jerome, but loves the game so much that he will gladly give up everything, including his woman and son for it. Also proving Unique knows he can always have an advantage over Rock if he had Kanan under his wing. So when next season comes around and we see Unique refuse to show his family he's still alive, this is for 2 reasons. The first reason is to keep them safe, and the second reason is because he was already more than willing to discard his family if it got in the way of his goals. I'm also going to add that Unique, aka Breeze, was an ambitious man and violent and stubborn, partly why Ghost agreed to kill him. And Unique is the most stubborn character on the show other than Rock. No matter what, he keeps coming back and can never leave the South Side alone, even after losing everything 3 times already. And can never leave the South Side alone, even after losing everything 3 times already. And now let's look at episode 2. Episode 2, around the 21-minute mark, Howard has his scene with Unique in the tailor shop, okay? Unique has his loud jacket on with his name across the back of it. He wanted the world to know who he was. He was insecure and wanted to be seen and heard all the time for no damn reason. But after all he would eventually go through, and after what Ronnie told him before the fight, and after almost dying yet again, he realized that the flashiness didn't matter anymore. To be that guy, he must move smarter, be harder to recognize. That's also why he would eventually be framed for shooting Howard for being too out there, too flashy. But at this point in the story, he hasn't learned his lesson yet, and it will be quite some time before he does. And him being seen wearing all black in episode 10 of season 3 is confirmation that he had finally learned his lesson after many hardships, okay? In episode 3, not much neat. but his work does get seized by the cops. And in episode 4, Unique kills his best friend Tresh G for being a fiend and getting the work seized by the cops in episode. Could he have wanted revenge on Rock for tricking him into killing his best friend? And that's why he eventually turns Kanan against her. Unique cried after killing Tresh G. You're not a real killer until you kill somebody you love. We're all aware of this scene already. But was this the moment Unique realized this and then later tells Kanan, who would then tell a 15-year-old Tariq in OG Power? And this is another clue. Unique will sacrifice anything for the game, including the ones he loves, and is loyal to the code of the streets. Also, could be the first time Unique began to question if Rock was a rat and what her connection to Howard really is. And we can also add Unique's conversation with Davina as an example of how Unique began to understand who Kanan is without having to speak to him, and why he was able to manipulate Kanan. He knows from watching Kanan early on that he's a sucker for any woman who he cares about, making his movements predictable, especially if it comes to Rock or Juke. Unique will ultimately end up knowing Kanan more than he knows himself until the boys come of age and realize they don't need him anymore. Now, episode 5, around the 46-minute mark, Rock used Scrappy to infiltrate Unique's crew, using 2 of the 48 laws of power, concealing your intentions and appealing to other people's interests. More lessons Unique learned that could have helped him build the skills necessary to spot a snake/rat and manipulate people like Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy to do his bidding. Episode 9, around the 4-minute mark, Neek is dressed flashy once again while in the middle of a war, leaving the movies with his son in broad daylight, and gets shot at by Marvin. The biggest example of why he knew he had to be completely selfish and yet selfless at the same time in order to be the man he wants to be and keep Vanessa and Jerome safe. And at the same time, he will gladly make this decision because he wants to be at the top of the game, more than he wants to be a father or husband to Pranessa. And the biggest amount of proof that Unique was chosen to be Breeze from the start and that he is the one who trained Ghost and Tommy is this. At the 12-minute mark, after Marvin attempts to kill Unique and Jerome and they survive, Unique's underlings put on smocks and infiltrate the hospital in order to finish Lou off after what Marvin done. Later on in OG Power, we see Tommy taking it up another notch by having his own business, his own ambulance business, and utilizing its service vehicles. And then we all know about the theory of Ghost being in the ambulance, passing Tariq while he's walking down the street, assuming Ghost is already gone. It was Unique who originated that idea, and Ghost and Tommy learned from it and utilized it in better ways as they got older. If you really pay attention to dialogue and context through Unique's time on screen, he learns the hard way that being too flashy always contributed to his downfall. He wanted to look like that guy and feel like that guy, and he had never made it to be that guy up until this point. He learned his lessons the hard way, and after escaping death a 3rd time, he realized the glitz and glamour is not more important than actually being that guy. So when we see the showrunners say they up and altered the show for Joey Badass and scrape their original plans in order to bring him back to the show, this is complete and utter cap. After watching the teaser about 3 times. Now here, what I want to talk about in this video is the fact that we have even more proof that Unique is Breeze. Now, when I say Unique is Breeze, we can all tell, we can surmise from what we knew about Breeze and what was said about Breeze in OG Power, which is that he was dangerous, and what's more important and necessary to say here is that they mentioned how Breeze was hitting licks, and he taught Kanan and them how to really hit licks, catch juxes. You're familiar with that word if you're from New York, right? But he was really teaching them how to hit licks and catch juxes. You got to understand that Kanan and them never were catching juxes up to a certain point, and we have not seen it yet within the first 3 seasons of Raising Kanan. But now you have Unique, and you can tell this is Unique in this scene, pulling up to this spot, guns blazing, with his face covered. It seems that he ran into maybe somebody's stash spot or something. He got somebody behind him. Maybe it's Kanan, maybe it's not. A lot of things would have had to happen for that to be Kanan in that scene. Maybe it's D-Wiz's brother, we don't know. But we know that this person, 2 guns up like Yosemite Sam, this is Unique. Which is why Unique has to be Breeze. It has to be. You gotta understand, who else would have a reason to really start hitting licks and robbing people other than Unique, who is thought to be dead, he's still alive, and he's broke. Unique is Breeze, y'all. Unique is Breeze. And at this point, D-Wiz's brother will pop up. I still believe that. However, I think he's gonna end up being like a Mecca. Not on a high level as a Mecca, as far as drugs go, but a Mecca as to where he will likely be a major threat in season 4 that has to be dealt with, but will be dealt with by the end of the season. We already know from brief descriptions of D-Wiz's brother that he's a wild boy. I think they want us to debate about who's really Breeze. Is it Unique? Is it D-Wiz's brother? They want us to debate that until the writing is really on the wall. But I want to tell y'all guys this. This is the 4th season of Raising Kanan. D-Wiz has been dead since season 1. D-Wiz's brother has not popped up yet. Do y'all really think all the way in season 4, they're going to have D-Wiz's brother show up and he's going to be Breeze? Meaning he's going to be the guy who we have not seen him. We barely had a word uttered about him. So he's supposed to show up in season 4 or even later, and then he's supposed to be the dominant guy who raises Kanan and Ghost and Tommy in the streets? Or would they do it with somebody who they already went out of their way to have fake killed off? They brought him back at the end of the season. He's clearly top 3 favorite characters on the show. Top 3. Top 3. Okay? And then they brought him back. They brought him back for a reason. Let me remind y'all that Unique never shared a real scene with Kanan. Y'all know that's gonna happen. And when it happens, it's gonna happen in a major way. Unique is Breeze, y'all. And here he is, briefly, for 1-2 seconds in the teaser, showing y'all exactly who he is and who he's gonna be. He has reasons to want to hit licks. He has bigger reasons than anyone else to want to hit licks, cover his face, go out there, rob people, put guns in people's faces. Let me also say this. After watching 3 seasons of Raising Kanan, I truly understand what this show is. And the name of this show is literal. The name of the show is literally called Raising Kanan. That literally means the show is about the people or person that is raising Kanan. The people who are raising Kanan, the Thomas family. More importantly, Patina Miller's Raquel Thomas. She's the number 1 person raising Kanan, right? And then you got in the streets, when he gets on his new shit, you got Unique, aka Breeze, raising Kanan. That's what the show is about. That's what the show is about. Joey Badass, as Unique, aka Breeze, is poised to be one of the most prolific characters in Power Universe history.
My world running! You pissing over like some puppy who ain't been broke yet. I'm the big dog. That's what you don't get. Taking out D and running your mouth to finesse ain't no big dog. That's you soft, meek. You all right losing everything I left you. Long as you think you looking pretty doing it. You a damn clown. What?
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Nate Almighty. Shout out to the Global Power Ambassadors, man. Hashtag GPA. Now, what you have just seen before you heard my voice is even further proof of why Unique is the man who will turn out to be Breeze. Now, there are lots of folk who might feel like D-Wiz brother is Breeze. There are lots of folk who feel like if it's not D-Wiz brother, it's going to be some random guy who we have not seen yet. But based off of the very few minor details that we got from who Breeze was in OG Power, and based off of the fact that Unique was fake killed off and then brought back, right, with a whole different swag, with a whole bunch of new possibilities to take the direction of his character. You have to understand that this scene right here is one of the exact scenes that explain to you why Unique will decide to change his entire style, his entire stilo, everything about himself in order to become the man who we will know as Breeze. All right, now, y'all seen the scene. Ronnie said, hey, you soft. You willing to destroy everything I gave you so long as you looking good doing it. Right? Y'all have to understand, what do we know about the man known as Breeze? What do we know about him? We know that he was a low-key guy. We know that he was a guy who a lot of people couldn't get to him, right? He was a guy who he still was doing this thing in the street, but he was untouchable in a certain type of way. Not everyone knew who he was. Not everyone knew who he looked like, right? We also know that it was Kanan who introduced Ghost and Tommy to Breeze in the first place. And then when you look at Unique and everything Unique is and was, mind you, while I'm making this video, I'm currently up to episode 3 of my rewatch of Raising Kanan. So this is going to be my 3rd or 4th time going through season 3, right? And you notice the details of everything that has to do with Unique. Like even when Ronnie first comes home, Ronnie first sees Unique. Unique got blood on his coat. He got blood on his fur, this chinchilla. He got all these chains on, right? Mind you, he lost everything. Ronnie is observing all of this. He's thinking everything that he said to Unique right before they fight in episode 5. He's thinking it already. Okay? When you go to further scenes, after that scene, even when you got Unique pulling up to Rock's house, when he got the Benz, right? He got the fire leather on, or he got another fur on, and all the chains. He looking real loud, right? What we have to understand is everything up until the final scene of Raising Kanan season 3, where we seen Unique and he had no chains on. He had the scar on his head. His eye was a little messed up, right? Right? One eye looking towards one direction, the other one looking towards a completely other direction. No chains on, all black on. You have to understand that we're going to find out that while Unique was healing, he was listening and paying attention to what his big brother said, right? You look good, but you ain't doing good. Yeah, you look like that nigga, but in all due reality, you not him. He's gonna remember how Ronnie had aspirations to be that dude, and how Ronnie was that dude on the block before he went to jail. Dressing exactly how he was dressing, with the Dockers on and the windbreaker on, right? And he managed to get more respect on the block than Unique ever had. Unique is going to be someone who we're going to find out decided that if I'm really going to be that guy, being that my name has no more respect in the street, no more stain in the street, of course I need a new alias. Now, I'm someone who already said that he's going to earn the name Breeze from how he's moving in the street. Because if you from the hood, you know, you earn your last name, okay? I'm from a hood where there's a guy who we call Wayne Doodle Stain. He earned that name, okay? You earn your name in the street. He's gonna earn the name Breeze for the fact that no one's gonna know who he is. But his actions is how people are gonna know that he came and left, right? Like a breeze, came out of nowhere, got up out of there. The streets are going to name Unique Breeze. Maybe even Stephano. Because if you're not new to my channel and you were around during last season of Raising Kanan, I also speculated that Stephano will likely hire Unique as his own personal hitman, because who better to do hits for you than someone who everyone assumes is dead already? Who better to do the hits? But you have to pay attention to everything that Unique was up until the point where he was supposedly killed. Loud, flashy, right? Has to be seen. Has to have the biggest jewels on, right? Has to have the best clothes on, right? Mind you, Unique, of course, is the finest nigga on the show, right? All the Gucci, right? All the Louis Vuitton, all the chinchillas, all the tracksuits, all the furs, right? Real 1990s New York drug dealer stuff, right? Out there looking like Rich Porter and them, right? Fat Cat and them. You got to understand that he's someone who's going to look at it like this. I was that guy. I was flashy like that. I was loud like that. And what did it get me? It just got me to be easily recognizable. It got me killed. It got my brother to despise me, right? It got me outwitted and crossed over by Raquel Thomas. And that's another question that I'm going to propose in another video, which is, will Unique still have feelings for Rock? Is he going to get cool with Kanan in order to take down Rock? Or to help Kanan because of Rock? Or is it going to be somewhere in the middle? That's another question that will be proposed, right? But we have Ubiquitous Unique. He is going to decide, I was too loud, I was too out there. I'm not doing that anymore, right? What benefit would it be to me to come back out as Unique, still dressed loud, still have all this gaudy jewelry on, draw all this attention to myself for what? For me to have the same name? In all due reality, what we witnessing is Breeze was the first ghost. Breeze was the first ghost, the first person, right? To change his identity, to become someone else. Breeze was the first GOAT. I also want to remind you guys that if you go into my archives, last year around Raising Kanan time, I did a video that I'm going to re-edit and I'm going to put out for y'all, which is every sign that Unique will become Breeze. from episode 1, season 1, up until the final episode of season 3. I'm gonna repurpose that video, right? Make it look a little prettier for you guys. And I'm gonna put that video out too, because I'm 100% sure that Unique will become Breeze. You guys have to think about it this way. It's been 3 seasons. D-Wiz brother is not here yet. When he does pop up, he's going to be a big bad for the season, maybe 2 seasons. He'll likely be used as someone who causes a threat and helps push Raquel, Lulu, and Marvin out of the game, right? As well as the heavy police presence that's going to be around, right? Lulu is likely to die. Marvin's either going to go on the run, or he's going to go to prison, or he may die as well doing something honorable for someone in his family, like dying for Kanan or dying for Rock or someone like that. He's going to be a big bad, and he's going to narratively be used plot-wise in order to push the older ones out of the game, right? Maybe Snap and Pop, they'll find out that Rock has something to do with D-Wiz's death, and they tell him, and he's on their team or something. Maybe he'll end up on the stick-up kid team with Unique and Kanan. But as far as Unique, y'all got to understand that Joey Badass is a talented actor. They brought him in. They kept him for 3 seasons. They realized he was a fan favorite. There's some people who think that they killed him off and then did re-edits to bring him back at the end of the episode. That's pure stupidity. As I would like to explain to you guys why Unique is Breeze with even further proof, as I reference the very first meeting between Stephano and Unique, in which Unique is referred to as Ubiquitous by Stephano. Now, some people are going to say this is a reach, but as far as I'm concerned, within the Power Universe, there's absolutely no such thing as coincidences. You guys already heard the record that was playing at the end of season 3 when Unique came back. I already gave you guys a video saying every single instance that shows that Unique will become Breeze. I also gave you guys a video yesterday explaining why Unique will become Breeze based off of the conversation he had with Ronnie before they had that fight. And now I'm going to prove to you guys that Unique will become Breeze based off of this very first conversation between him and Stephano. This video is going to be another banger. Let's get to it. All right, y'all. So y'all know how I went. Episode 2, Raising Kanan, season 3. We got Unique having a parlay at Raquel's house, right? They having a regular conversation. We know Raquel is about to explain to Unique about what's going on between her and Kanan. We know Kanan wasn't feeling Raquel at the time because of the many lies that Raquel has told him. And out of nowhere, Stephano's people pop up. They all take Unique and they take Raquel to the area where Stephano's furnace is. And we all know Unique felt very insulted by the way the Italians came and tried to rough him up that way. We all know he was being a gangster the whole time. So now Stephano asked them for their names. Y'all know Unique says, hey, my name is Unique. And here is where it begins, where Stephano says how he always noticed how the Mulianos, the Mulis, the black people, always have these unique and clever names, right? So he rattles off 2-3 names that he knows, and he says how the Italians be having whack names like Big Fish and all that other stuff. And then Unique is being smart. He's being smart. So Stephano's man punches Unique. Couple more words being said. Then Stephano has his people take Unique away in order so he can have a word with Raquel who he really meant to see, right? He never even meant to know Unique. And while they're taking Unique away, he refers to Unique as Mr. Ubiquitous, okay? And also, we know that Unique referred to him as Linguini, right? Little Linguini. But here's the thing about the word ubiquitous now. While I was watching this episode, something told me I was speaking to myself. Myself said, Nate. I said, yes. Myself said, you should definitely look up what the definition of ubiquitous right now. Let's see what the definition of ubiquitous is, right? So now, while you're looking at this screen, I have what the word ubiquitous means, okay? Now, Google says, what does it mean if something is ubiquitous? Existing or being everywhere at the same time. Existing or being everywhere at the same time. Constantly encountered, widespread, a ubiquitous fashion. Okay? And then what you're going to have here is another couple explanations of what ubiquitous can mean, right? What word best describes ubiquitous? Everywhere, omnipresent, pervasive, universal. Do you guys see where I'm getting at? Okay. When we see this definition and it says existing or being everywhere at the same time, existing or being everywhere at the same time, constantly encountered, widespread, right? Everywhere, omnipresent, pervasive, universal. Okay, so you want to know what's everywhere? You want to know what's omnipresent? You want to know what's universal? Do you guys want to know what is existing or being everywhere at the same time? The air. The air is everywhere at the same time. So in a sense, you could say ubiquitous is kind of like being like the wind or breeze of air, right? Right? Am I bugging? I don't think this is a reach. Now, you guys know in order for me to have fun on this channel, yes, I do some reaching. Yes, I have fun being wrong because I like to be creative, right? But I'm not reaching all the time, man. You want to know what's everywhere? A breeze. You want to know what's omnipresent? The wind, a breeze. You want to know what's universal? The wind, a breeze. Need I really say more? Need I really say more? And then, if we want to even take it a step further, they're clearly showing us the beginning. They clearly showed us the beginning of what would be a mutual beneficial friendship between Stephano and Unique, who will, in fact, become Breeze by the end of the 5th season of Raising Kanan. And that's considering the fact that season 5 just might be the last season of Raising Kanan. You gotta understand, they have plans, okay? They told us we were gonna have season 4 and season 5 right next to each other. They never do that with any other Power show. They have big plans for the cast of Raising Kanan, right? By the way, argue with your mother, Raising Kanan is the best show after OG Power, okay? And when Raising Kanan is over, I'm going to bet on it that Raising Kanan will arguably be known as the best Power show they have ever given us. But going back to Stephano and Unique, they already showed us this word thing, this thing with names between them, right? So you cannot say that I'm reaching. They showing us how during the course of the rest of the season, they're explaining to each other their love for words and stuff like that. So is it far-fetched to say that Stephano, perhaps his people, follow Ronnie all the way to the landfill, waited for Ronnie to leave, checked to see if Unique was still breathing, took Unique, And a part of Unique's rehabilitation was them bonding together over their love of words and names while watching the Jeopardy show. I don't think it's that far-fetched, okay? When Unique in earlier episodes expressed that he's a fan of crossword puzzles, am I reaching? I don't think so. I believe Unique is Breeze, and the writers have been giving us hints about who he would be. Now, I want to speak again on how he will earn the name Breeze. Unique, as who he is, who he was, is a dead man. Y'all, no time for the intro. Let's get to it. All evidence from as far back as OG Power has brought us to this moment. What we do know from the very little bit of information that we have gathered about Breeze still has only been given to us from OG Power. He was a dangerous man, strong, but lacking the intelligence to take a young Kanan, Tommy, and Ghost to the next level. And this clearly is nowhere near enough to make the clear call that everyone, including myself, has been making. So in reality, everyone's guess is exactly that, a guess. But it's always fun to speculate in the meantime, so we're gonna do just that. So in my opinion, there's absolutely only 3 possible options left for Breeze. It's either gonna be Unique, D-Wiz brother, or someone else who we have yet to see enter the Raising Kanan series. And as a wild card, maybe we already seen him and don't know it yet, which could mean we are in for a seriously jaw-dropping moment when he is finally revealed. With that being said, let's break down the evidence that suggests Unique is Breeze, the evidence that suggests D-Wiz brother is Breeze, as well as the evidence that goes against those obvious choices. And then we will discuss the possibilities that maybe we haven't even seen them yet, and we are in for an even bigger reveal than we could all possibly imagine. And by the end of this video, you will be able to finally decide for yourself, once and for all, who is Breeze. So, let's start with Unique. In my opinion, Unique has the most going for himself to be Breeze. And to me, there is only one valid argument that goes against Unique being Breeze, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, from a narrative perspective, seeing Unique go from being the flashy guy, loud, abrasive, the guy who started the series having it all, then losing it twice, just to be almost killed by his older brother and assumingly killed by his older brother, and then to survive by assumingly the help of Stephano with an altered brain chemistry that then changes his personality and makes him even more reckless, but also would make him a recluse who prefers to stay home and let his young boys do most of the work, and also because he wants everyone to believe that he is unique. Because he wants everyone to believe that he is unique, that he as Unique is really dead. So he chooses to dress in all black, just like he did during the season 3 finale, which inspires Ghost and Tommy to do the same in OG Power when it's murder time. If done correctly, this would make Unique the most prolific and legendary character in crime drama history. Definitely black crime drama history. We all have heard the theories about the music they play during the final scene of season 3 when Unique reappears. I have my own theories about him and Stephano with their love for words and nicknames. I have a video about the symbolism of the number 7, and another video of his dialogue with Ronnie that gives us clues to who he will become after surviving his ordeal of the attack of Ronnie. If Unique ends up not being Breeze, then the writers definitely wanted us to at least think that he could be, which would make Unique a red herring from a narrative perspective. and could make the actual reveal of Breeze be a complete letdown. With assumingly 2 seasons left of Raising Kanan, there just isn't much time to complete Kanan's arc and the rest of the Thomas family and develop a different character to be Breeze at the same time. Breeze has to be introduced and familiar with Kanan before Ghost and Tommy become relevant to the universe as youngsters, and I believe Breeze will already be Breeze by the time Power Origins premieres its first episode. One more thing I will add is this. In Power, before a main character dies, or right after they die, they always show us the replacement of that said character. In all due reality, Unique as a character actually did die that night in the tailor shop. Joey Badass said it himself that the character we know as Unique is gone. And finally, remember that we have never seen Unique and Kanan interact on screen together. So when it does happen, it will certainly be impactful. And now, here is the only argument against Unique being Breeze that actually has legs to stand on. Sasha Cohen, who leads Raising Kanan, said in an interview previously that they originally planned to kill Unique off and leave him dead. But when Joey asked to come back, they decided to bring him back. This caused the writers to completely alter the end of season 3, and it made them have to rewrite season 4, and this was said in Sasha's own words. That comes from the horse's mouth. And it is valid. But me personally, I'd like to call bullshit. And I believe it's a throw-off in order to continue to have the fans speculate on the future of Unique in the show, as well as who Breeze may be. If he never came back, everyone would assume Breeze is D-Wiz's brother off the rip. Now, Joey is talented, but I don't think he had enough pull to be killed off and then make the producers feel compelled to bring him back enough to alter the entire season 4 and alter the rest of the Raising Kanan series. And now, the defense rests. So now we can talk and we can have the argument for D-Wiz, unknown and unnamed brother being Breeze. In my opinion, there isn't much to really stand on in the defense of D-Wiz's brother, but there still is enough to speculate somewhat. What we know is that he's a wild boy, and nobody ever knows where he is. This means he's a wild card, and his introduction can end up being a jaw-dropping moment, even if he wasn't Breeze. Now, Getting It How I Live was the first person to say that it's possible Rock seen him in the park with his mother right before she got shot at. And that is, admittedly, very interesting. But there's nothing more after that, in my opinion at least, that would suggest that D-Wiz's brother is Breeze. Because in my opinion, I believe that before the series is over, he will come and be the cleanup guy, the guy who finally kills Lou, the guy who becomes one of the biggest villains that we will ever see within the Raising Kanan series, because he will be on an official revenge tour, right? But with that being said, him being Breeze will still be dope as long as the writers can make it make sense. Back again with a crazy Raising Kanan season 4 theory and prediction. And today, I want to explain to you guys how the writers of Raising Kanan season 4 are using science to intricately show us both how and why Unique ultimately becomes the man we know today as Breeze. And the placement of the scar on his forehead tells us even more than we would assume from a first glance. Yes, We all know by now that Unique will suffer some form of brain damage that changes him. But it's the location of the scar on his forehead that reveals where he suffered the most damage by the hands of his brother Ronnie. Different sides of the brain control different functions, and I will be the first to explain in real scientific detail why the location of Unique's forehead scar and his severe damage to the left side of his frontal lobe is what led him to become a recluse after healing, causing him to stay home more and develop a routine. It is also what causes his wild outbursts that we should expect to see in season 4, and I'm predicting it now. We'll see more of it early on, and he will calm down at least a little bit from that as the story goes on. But it's also what causes his memory loss and what will be his occasional issues with remembering the right words to use in his sentences, which will lead him to not only staying home to watch Jeopardy, but other educational shows, as well as him doing crossword puzzles and reading books. And this transformation will be a slow burn, but by the end of season 5, he will officially accept himself and also be viewed by everyone as Breeze. This video is going to be another banger. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right now, y'all. Let's break it down like this. As I stated earlier, Unique clearly suffered the most damage to the left side of his frontal lobe. So we have to ask ourselves, what happens if you have severe brain damage on your left side? The left hemisphere of the brain. Brain damage to the left hemisphere of the brain can lead to trouble reading and writing, changes in speech, deficits in planning, organization, and memory as those skills relate to language, weakness or lack of movement on the right side of the body. So what we can expect to see from Unique as he's continuing his healing, because he's only about 2 or 3 months in as far as where season 3 ended, is we're going to see him have changes in speech. Whereas in the middle of him talking, there's words that he's going to want to say, that he's going to mean to say. When we pay attention to his context clues, we're going to know what he wants to say, but the words are not going to come out of his mouth. The specific word he's not going to be able to say, right? He's going to have deficits in planning, organization. This is where he will begin to rely on Kanan more, right? And if he's still having these issues when Ghost and Tommy come around, this is where we're going to see him rely on someone like Ghost more as far as like planning and doing some organizing and things of that nature, right? Weakness or lack of movement on the right side of the body. Even in the picture that was leaked, right? Whereas there's Unique walking out of what appears to be Kanan's building, right? It already appears that he has a kind of like a tilt to him, a lean to him, right? But now, what happens if the left frontal lobe is damaged? Damage to the frontal lobe of the brain can cause a range of symptoms, including motor weakness and behavioral problems. A variety of conditions can damage the frontal lobe, including stroke, head trauma, and dementia, right? Now, in this case, when we talking about Unique, right, and what he suffered with Ronnie, we talking about severe head trauma to the left side of the frontal lobe. And this will include motor weakness and behavioral problems. So when he starts wilding out, he dumbing out, catching unnecessary bodies, or what I believe we will see is that, you know, he's going to have a wild outburst over small, simple things, right? He's going to be offended. Similar to what we've seen from Ronnie, right? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out. You know what? I'm not even going to say that because that's an idea for a theory and it has nothing to do with Unique. But like I said, we are going to see him move a little slower a little bit in the beginning. He's going to have behavioral issues, but we're not done with the science, all right? The next question we have to ask is, What does the front left side of your brain control? The left frontal lobe is involved in controlling language-related movement, whereas the right frontal lobe plays a role in nonverbal abilities. Some researchers emphasize that this rule is not absolute, and that with many people, both lobes are involved in nearly all behaviors, all right? But when we talk about language-related movement, that means how you putting words together in your head and how it affects the way that you think and the way that you speak and the way that you analyze what's being said to you. This will further contribute to him feeling like people trying to play him, to him not understanding what people are saying. And these are the reasons why he will become more of a recluse, develop a routine in the house where he's going to be watching specific shows. And he's going to have specific times where he goes in the house and he reads, right? He reads as he's rebuilding, not his consciousness, but his literacy and improving on his speech, right? Because we know he was very good at speaking well. He had a way with words, but we're not going to see this same unique anymore, right? And now, what I'm about to say next, we can try to determine how long he will have these issues. Now, like I already said, I believe that in season 4, we're going to see a lot of the jumping out the window, being unnecessarily aggressive. It's not going to completely go away, but he will learn to calm himself down as time goes, right? But can frontal lobe damage repair itself? Right? It can, but not if you don't give your brain time to rest and heal the frontal lobe function, right? In the case of a TBI, rest doesn't only mean getting enough sleep at night. Your brain needs both physical and mental rest. So now, based on everything Unique got going on, right? Slowly, he will be able to give himself time for his brain to heal, right? And his other injuries, he will have time to heal from that. But I'm predicting that it will never go back to the same person that he used to be. It's never going to happen. His damage is just too severe. It's that simple, right? Next question we have to ask ourselves. Can you live a normal life with frontal lobe damage? Damage to the frontal lobe may cause a variety of effects such as impaired muscle movements, personality changes, and impulsive behavior. Fortunately, many individuals are able to recover functions affected by frontal lobe damage and improve their quality of life. Frontal lobe damage and improve their quality of life. So it's like I said, slowly he will get better than he is, but he's never going to go back to being that mostly calm, cool, and collected person that he used to be, right? Whereas for the most part, he had a cool head when situations happen. He's still gonna be that person to where in OG Power, Ghost is telling Tommy, hey, Breeze was gonna get us killed. That's why he had to go, right? Now, next question we need to ask ourselves is, what emotion does the left frontal lobe control? The neural system for emotions linked to approaching and engaging with the world, like happiness, pride, and anger, lives in the left side of the brain. So when we're talking about happiness, pride, right, and anger, right? Now we're talking about a Unique who's going to be severely mentally and emotionally unstable, especially for the early stages of his recovery process. We're talking about someone who he's hardly gonna even feel like he's not gonna feel like the same person he used to be. That will affect his happiness. And because his speech patterns are different, because his brain is, he's gonna be slow. He's gonna be a little bit slower than he used to be. That will affect his pride. And as far as his anger goes, once his pride is affected, if you feel like people are underestimating him or trying to play him, right? That's where the anger comes. That's where the anger comes. And once again, this is why over time it's people like Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy, specifically Kanan and Ghost, who are going to help him deal with the pride and anger aspect of it all, right? And I think the negative qualities as far as the crashing out and everything, I feel like Tommy is going to take after that the most. Next, which of the 5 senses does the frontal lobe control? Thinking, planning, organizing, problem solving, short-term memory and movement, which I've already stated, right? And now emotional symptoms. Depending on what part or parts of a person's brain are injured, the individual may experience significant behavioral and emotional changes. The frontal lobe, for example, helps govern personality and impulsivity. If damaged, there might be no braking mechanism for self-control. So what I'm saying is that, like, Unique is likely to become somewhat of a psychopath when he's outside. And it may be Kanan who decides, maybe I need to come up with ways to really keep this nigga Unique in the house, right? Because he's wilding. Right? A person may find he cannot control his anger or aggression. Hence why Ghost told Tommy he was going to get us killed. Breeze was going to get us killed, right? He may also make inappropriate comments to friends or strangers, not realizing they are off color. Or the opposite might happen. Someone's personality may become muted or seemingly emotionless. This is called flat effect. I think we will see a little bit of both. Today's theory and prediction: Breeze was Kanan Slim before OG Power. And this is why he saw himself in Tariq and killed Jukebox over him. Now, the reason why I'm making this theory is because we need to understand that the stars are lining up. Kanan, the story of his life and how it ended was that he always put too much trust in the wrong people. He died because he put too much trust in Tariq. He went to prison for 10 years because he put too much trust and was oblivious to Ghost and his ambitions. He put too much trust in his mom. Some could say he put a little bit too much trust in Famous, even though Famous is loyal to Kanan. We can't overlook the fact that he watched Rock put a gun in his bag and he did not say nothing immediately, right? People get killed for less. Breeze was Kanan's Slim, and that's why Kanan was able to become Slim and able to know exactly how to manipulate Tariq. And it's because of Kanan's influence as Slim on Tariq that led to Ghost being killed. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean in this introduction. All that and more in today's theory. Like, share, comment, subscribe. This video is going to be another banger. Without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, y'all. So let's break it down like this. Breeze is Breeze. Breeze is going to be somebody who Kanan becomes extremely close to. When Breeze meets Kanan, and I'm still assuming it's Unique is going to have his own reasons to pretend to be someone other than who he is, right? For all we know, maybe it's Kanan who gives Unique the new name Breeze. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that we have not seen Kanan deal with the level of betrayal that he dealt with that led him to hate Ghost so much when he got out of prison, or rather hate Ghost so much when he went to prison, to the point where he decided to get back at Ghost in the worst way, which is not only I had you kill your mentee, roller who did absolutely nothing. I caused friction between you and your brother Tommy, and then I got in your son's head and almost killed him after I kidnapped him. I had him on drugs and all of that. Kanan, at a younger age, had to learn this from somebody. Now, we know Kanan is smart, right? Kanan was smart to a certain extent. He was not smarter than Ghost, but he was smart as far as mentally manipulating people. And he had to learn that from what I'm predicting is two people. One, his own mother, but there has to be someone else who gets in his head and likely got him to go against his mom. Now, even though I said multiple times that I do not believe Kanan will be the one to kill his mom, that does not mean that Unique as Breeze won't be able to get in his head and still make him go against his mom. He's already been against his mom. But this is the reason why Kanan decided to kill Jukebox over Tariq, is because upon getting to know Tariq, he realized, like, yo, me and this little nigga basically lived the same life. He just had a little bit more money. Just like me, he grew up, didn't really know who his father was, right? He thought his father was a completely different person. He did not know the demon that his main parent was. And he was meant and brought up to live a life and be guided in a way that he ultimately was never supposed to have a choice in. This is what drew Kanan closer to Tariq. This is what they bond over. They lived a reality that for Kanan, no one else he knew would be able to relate to. And with Tariq, right? No one else would be able to know, even though Kanan didn't tell Tariq all the details about, Howard and everything. But Kanan is the only person Tariq would be able to relate to. Unless we're talking about the possibility of someone like, I forget right now, because I smoke a lot of weed, but Noma's daughter, Anya. But as we can see, Kanan and Tariq had a lot of similarities. And we have to ask ourselves, who did Kanan learn all of this from other than Rock? Because Rock will be gone and there will be someone else manipulating Tariq, pretending to be somebody who they're not.